Let's talk about legacy issues for a second. Can each of you describe what you think the single greatest legacy of your court will be insofar as it relates to the victimized population? And Chris, since you're at the permanent International Criminal Court, can you focus on the legacy issues of the DRC?
It's a 5-word answer. It's too early to tell. I think it would be dishonest for me to say that I can answer a legacy question about the ICC. I guess so far the story of the ICC, when I went to work there in 2004, there was a huge question about whether the ICC would still be here in 2009, whether it would still be here in 2014. And my own government was affirmatively trying to kill the ICC. So I would say that the fact that the ICC is still standing and that it's become relevant, not only in the Congo, but in Colombia, in Kenya, in Afghanistan, in Palestine. It's a concept that has a lot of life to it, and I think that everybody understands the appeal of it. In the Congo, I think that the legacy so far, with a small L, very small with letters, is I think it has, Congo is the place where there was no justice system. The Civil War has done a great job of just wiping out. People lose livestock or relatives and have no one to turn to. There's no police, which is nothing. And I think what the ICC has done a little bit of is to provide a model and a starting point for domestic systems to be trained and moved along, for there to be an interest in justice. And if you provide that, I think that's very meaningful, because one thing that I think all of us have experienced is the idea of justice is so strong. When I was in the Congo, you meet with people, their faith in the ability of justice to bring about rebuilding is remarkable. These are people who've never seen justice at work. They don't, they've never touched justice, and yet their hope about it is so just, they really grasp it. And so if the ICC or any of the other courts contribute to that, I think that's really what you want to do, is spark the real system, the domestic system, into a more robust stage.
There are a number of comments on that. One seems really obvious, in fact, almost so obvious that you shouldn't make it. And my sense of speaking with the Sierra Leoneans is this almost sense of wonderment that someone cared. In any given room, when someone is talking to me about what I've been doing, and I would say that I've been in Sierra Leone, and say West Africa. A lot of people actually don't know that it's a country in West Africa. And the general hopelessness that the world community often feels about Africa generally, that's, it's just an African problem, is even more specialised, if that's the right word, in sub-Saharan West Africa. It's like it's fallen off the map. And the idea that these foreigners cared enough to come, I think is quite an important thing. And that's, again, I think, because the court sat in Sierra Leone, it wasn't some European thing. So I think that is important. The calling to account for the population, particularly of the RUF rebels, is very important. In some ways, there is no excuse for what the RUF did. In terms of legal attribution, sometimes they get a bad deal, because whenever someone says rebel, they say RUF, whereas the AFRC were actually responsible for some of the things which in popular mind is attributed to the RUF. So the conviction of those men and the sorting out of the narrative of what went on is very important. But in terms of a pure legal argument or an idea, the Special Court has gained in country a reputation for integrity and fairness. And if you need the most simple illustration of that point, it's the man who sat here and spoke to you yesterday, Joseph Kamara, now the Deputy Prosecutor, a Sierra Leonean. Not only is he the Deputy Prosecutor, but he has been elected to be President of the Bar in Sierra Leone, and he's been appointed to the law school. And all of that is because people recognise that because he's worked in the special court, he is a lawyer of integrity, and in a domestic legal system that is still in absolute crisis, where corruption is a terrible problem, where ethics are almost non-existent, where the law school is still really struggling. For not only all of the lawyers that came in and showed how it's done, how the legal community, the international legal community say these are the standards by which we measure fairness, and the more atrocious the crime that someone is accused of, the more important it is that they be given the most fair trial in the world. For there to be a Sierra Leonean who has contributed to that as much, if not more, than all of the other international lawyers, that is an incredibly important legacy for Sierra Leone. And I don't mean to place a heavy burden on Joseph's shoulders, but it's that idea of Sierra Leone re-establishing its own rule of laws that I hope is the legacy of the special court.
Very pleased.
Briefly, when you talk of legacy issues, it's like you wait until the tribunal closes to actually make a qualitative judgment. But there are lasting contributions with the International Criminal Tribunal of Rwanda has made. Firstly, starting with the generalities, convicting an interim prime minister of a government, Kabanda. He comes with a plea, he actually tells the world that yes, we sat down and we killed our own people, the Tutsi. We targeted them, there were crimes against humanity. To me, that is something. Now we have the Al-Bashir of this world, but we had thought that an interim prime minister can come and say, I actually killed my own people. Then we come to Pauline Nyiramaosuko, the first woman to be indicted for rape, as crimes against humanity and whatever. Who would have thought that a whole minister of women's affairs or whatever it means would actually have allegations of rape and what? To me that is groundbreaking. Who would have thought that a definition like the one which was given would be the first in international criminal law, and genocide to be charged as rape? Now all the elements relating to genocide can actually bring people to be charged with those sexual offenses. Who would have thought that a person like Bagasora, who is like the architect of the genocide, can actually be charged with sexual offenses where he is not even personally raped, but the fact that the soldiers are going on a flowing of their own, the fact that he should have known that they will do that, he had effective control, he did nothing about it. I think that is very, very amazing. The fact that our statute is limited provisions to reparation and participation, but the fact that the Office of the Prosecutor grooms dynamic women and men who are gender sensitive, who go to the witnesses and take a very grounded approach. The starting point is the witness. What are your fears? What are your needs? What are your aspirations? We might not have resources, but with listening skills, what did you go through? I think that is a lasting legacy to me. Some things might come afterwards when the tribunal is closed, but so far I think we are doing very well.